you thought about Hashem. Just the morning. You haven't even started your day yet. You go pray. You pray to Hashem. You have a tefillin. If you do tefillin, you have a direct line. Talk to Hashem. Talk to Hashem. Hashem, you need help. After that, you go to whatever your job is. You're selling cars, you're selling houses, you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, you're whatever you are. Now, if you think about Hashem, automatically your business changes. Why? Certain deals you're just never going to do. Why? You know they're wrong. Certain customers you're never going to deal with. Why? You know they're criminals. It's not worth it. Yeah, but it's a lot of money. Hashem will provide it in a different way. If Hashem is going to provide you two choices all the time. There's always going to be a right choice and a wrong choice. You're always going to have the ability to choose. He's going to send you a customer that can give you a lot of money, but he's a criminal. He's going to have a customer that's going to give you a little bit of money, but he's straight. You have to pick the one that's straight. Why? That's the right choice. Yeah, but I'm going to lose out on a lot of money and I can't give tzedakah. Don't give tzedakah. You're not doing anybody any favors. It's better you do honest business. I'll tell you a personal story. I don't know if I ever told anybody. You could believe it, don't believe it, doesn't make a difference to me. When I was still working for Raymond James back in 2003, I just made my first $1 million. And I was 23 years old. But you don't keep the whole $1 million. You have taxes, you have expenses, you have the firm, and so on and so forth. Still, I made some money. Anyway, it was time for me to make a decision. Am I going to start working maybe on my way out, leave the firm, start my own firm, work for another firm? A few firms were calling me to come work for them. When you succeed, people tend to find out whether you like it or not, especially when you work for a big firm. So anyway, there was this guy, Michael, in my office. And he's like, listen, I got a guy that has a firm, and I think you should talk to him. You have a big business, you build, whatever, all the nice compliments that people say. And you should talk to this guy. I said, okay, no problem. Tell him to call me. So the guy calls me, and we start talking, chit-chatting, and so on. And he asked me about my business, the size of the business, how much clients I have, how much money I'm managing, what we're doing, da-da-da. He's like, all right, let me cut to the chase. He's like, listen, if you move your business to my firm, I'll pay you cash. Before the whole thing moves, I'll pay you cash $3.2 million. Cash. And then once you come and the whole business transfers, I'll give you another $3.5 million. Now imagine, I'm 23 years old. $3 million is a lot of money. You're 23, 93, it's always a lot of money. So normally, what should be the response? Can I go there now? Can you pick me up? Can you send me an Uber? But I was brought up by honest parents, Baruch Hashem. And my next question was, okay, what kind of business do you do? I wasn't a fool. I said, what kind of business are you doing? It's not a big deal. It's da-da-da-da-da. Wait, hold on a second. What do you mean? What's da-da-da-da-da? And he starts explaining to me. And I said, oh, so you have a boiler room. You have a, place that's illegal. He goes, no, it's legal. It's legal. It's just we just have our own thing that we're doing. But what do you care? You just raise new money or do this. I'm like, oh, so you're asking me to steal this money from my clients. In so many words. In the legal way. But in reality, I'm going to steal it from my clients and give it to you. Listen, I'm going to pay you this. And he started increasing the price. I said, thank you, click. Now, a $7 million test for any age is a lot of money. But not if you have some level of integrity. For me, Baruch Hashem, it wasn't a test. I told the story maybe 100 times to my employees in the past. Not because it was a difficult test for me, but it was a difficult test for them. Why? They were willing to sell their mother for a few dollars because they were still sold to money. They still valued money as if it was God. For me, Baruch Hashem, it's never been my test. So I told him, listen, you can't sell your mom for money. You can't sell God for money. It's money, but you're stealing from people. They worked hard for the money. Why are you going to steal from them? They worked hard for the money. Why are you going to steal from them? Why? They worked hard for it. Why? You don't work hard for your money? How'd you feel if somebody stole your money? No, but they're rich. So what if they're rich? So it just makes it more right to steal from them because they're rich or they're poor or this or that? Well, who gave you the right to steal? It's not yours. Nobody taught you that? Yeah, I didn't think about it that way. Everybody always starts making, I didn't think about it that way. I didn't see it that way. I wasn't sure. Maybe this. Everybody has excuses after the fact. Yeah, but somebody died already at this point. After the fact, everybody has a lot of questions and issues and so on. If you ever noticed, every financial crisis, every major disaster, everyone always says, oh yeah, I knew it, and I saw it, and I thought about, okay, so how come you didn't do anything before? Everyone knew that the dot-com bubble was going to crash after it crashed. Everyone knew that the housing crisis was going to happen after it happened. Everyone knew that Bitcoins and all the cryptocurrency is going to go to zero after it goes to zero. But in the meantime, everybody's in it. Oh, I knew. The point is, Abotai, is that Hashem expects us to do the right thing before it's obvious to everyone else. Because it's obvious to us. It's obvious to you what's right and wrong. It's obvious to you. It's important that you make these decisions and make sure that they're right, because the tests are only going to get bigger. They're not going to get smaller. They're only going to get bigger, these tests. And sometimes that test is going to seem like it's a life and death test. It's going to seem like if I don't steal the $1,000, I'm not going to have food for Shabbat. Which seems like you're going to die, but you're really not going to die. It's just inconvenient Shabbat. You still have no right to steal. You still have no right to cheat. So, how do you pass the test? Baruch Hashem, even though I wasn't necessarily religious, I always was connected to Hashem Yitbarach some way, in my own strange way. You have a bigger merit. You have the real truth now. You already know the real story. You already know Hashem is real. You're not 23 and questioning whether God's real or not, whether this, whether that. You already know the truth, Baruch Hashem, right now. So the test should be much easier for you. And the test is, can you ask yourself every minute of the day, do you really believe that God's next to you right now? Because if you believe that God's next to you right now, all those tests, as far as money is concerned, become easy. Why? If you know what God is watching. God's watching right now. He's watching, and you're about to cheat this guy for $500 or $5 or $5 million. You're not going to do it. So once you actually understand that God's watching, already dishonesty leaves your blood system. Now you leave room for honesty. Dishonesty left. Honesty is the only thing you have room for. So now that your money is going to be more blessed, first and foremost. Second of all, you're going to start, since God is watching, you think, okay, what does God want me to do now? Now that I have the money. Now that I made money, whatever the money was, 500, 5,000, 5 million, whatever it is, what does God want me to do with this money other than obviously survive, pay the mortgage, feed the kids, if you have a pet, feed the pet, whatever it is, the basic minimum needs. What else does God want me to do? Once you start thinking with that type of straight mind, of what does God want my money to be, then your job becomes no different than Limud Torah. Why? Your entire existence has God in play. Not after, not once you got the check, not like once a month or once a year, or only when you meet the rabbi, or only when you see the email, all the time. Shiviti Hashem lenegdi tamid. What's tamid? All the time. All the time. Contract, no contract. You have to constantly think about Hashem. It's not easy. At first, it's not easy. But if you get yourself used to it, it becomes your second nature. So especially when there's transactions, especially when there's a transaction, a customer comes in or calls or something, there's a deal that crosses your desk, always ask before you sign on the dotted lines, before you press the cash register, what does God think of this? Not is he thinking it's going to be a successful deal or a failure. No, I'm not talking about success or failure. I'm talking about, is this honest or not? Is this an honest deal or is it a sin? Am I looking for a leniency for this to be allowed and hoping that Hashem forgives me? Or kosher badatz, glatt kosher. Is your money kosher or not? Did you overcharge the guy? Did you sneak away an extra 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9% and the guy didn't notice? Did what it's saying small print really matter and you know that the guy didn't look and he's going to pay for it? A lot of people are going into these short-term lending businesses right now. They're destroying their neshamot. They're not only destroying other people, they're destroying their own neshamot. Why? It's predatory business. You know that the guy, when you're lending the guy money, and the guy's going to pay 25, 30% interest, you know for sure he can't pay back. All he can do is refinance it, and refinance it, and refinance it, and refinance it, and only if he wins the lottery he's going to pay back. That's predatory loans. That's dishonest business. It's unethical business. And eventually those businesses will be shut down too. So you have to ask yourself, would God be proud of you for what transaction you're doing? You're about to sell a drug. The drug killed 900 people last week out of 1,000 that took it. But you make $10 a pill. $10 a pill is 10 times more than what you make on every other pill. But you know that 90% of the people that are going to take it, they're going to die. You sell, you don't sell. Now all of you are going to say, no, you don't sell. Why? Because you don't sell drugs. Because it's not a test for you. But someone that's in that business is thinking, listen, you know how much $10 a pill is? I usually only get $1 a pill. So it's a test for them. It's a test for them. You have to understand, each one of us has our own test. Only way we can pass it, Shivit Hashem. We ask her, is Hashem with me or not? If he's with me, does he agree? If he agrees, Baruch Hashem. I'll sign on the dotted line. I'll sign whatever you want. No questions asked. I'm not worried at all. Not worried at all. But if Hashem doesn't agree, all I have is worry.